So we have got an unreal volume puncher in William Zepeda going up against an absolute defensive master that we've got right now in boxing in Shakur Stevenson. This is a very good and intriguing fight in my opinion. And, two different old kind of styles going up against each other. It's such an intriguing fight in my opinion. It really, really is. But if I'm being honest, this is a fight where I am picking Shakur Stevenson to win the fight. And look, does William Zepeda have a great chance? Of course he does. I feel like William Zepeda's got a style that can beat absolutely anybody, 100%. But he has got a style that can be picked apart by a boxer like Shakur Stevenson. And those Tevin Farmer fights kind of made me feel a bit more uncertain on William Zepeda. And look, Shakur Stevenson, as I said, he's a defensive master right now. He's probably the best defensive fighter in the game right now. I think Lamont Roach is up there as well with him. But I think Shakur Stevenson's got ridiculous defense, to be honest with you. He's really hard to hit, and his counters are unreal. But William Zepeda, the pace that he can keep up and the amount of shots that the guy throws per round, he throws like 100 shots per round. He's dangerous, and he's got big power in his hands. He's got great accuracy. But I feel like Shakur Stevenson is the best lightweight right now, and I feel like his counters will be too much for William Zepeda, and I feel like he will end up picking William Zepeda apart. And those Tevin Farmer fights haven't really given me loads of confidence in William Zepeda. He still throws a lot of punches, Zepeda, and he's going to still be throwing a lot here, but Shakur Stevenson's going to be the more accurate puncher. And I feel like for people, who watch the fight, it's going to be one of these where it looks like William Zepeda is doing a great job in this fight and, having some good success, but really he won't be. Really he won't be. And I feel like people are going to say, Zepeda got that round because he's throwing more shots. But we'll end up looking at like the CompuBox stats afterwards, and it would be clear to see, Shakur Stevenson was the, way more accurate puncher. Zepeda didn't land as much as I thought he did. I feel like that's what people are going to be thinking after this fight. And I feel like we're going to end up seeing a pretty good masterclass from Shakur Stevenson, in my opinion. I think Shakur's counter jab is very good. I think he can catch Zepeda walking in at times as well. I think Zepeda is good at throwing from awkward angles, but I feel like he can be caught just walking in at times. And I think Shakur Stevenson is going to put on a good performance on the back foot, be the more accurate puncher. And I feel like, Shakur Stevenson, the quicker puncher as well. I mean, if Shakur Stevenson can be very... if he can be very convincing with the way he controls range here, I don't think he'll have a problem when winning this fight. I think Shakur Stevenson is going to manage his range well. And I feel like he's going to be able to frustrate William Zepeda. And we saw it against Tevin Farmer. William Zepeda was throwing a lot of punches there. But I thought I think both fights were very close. I thought Tevin Farmer probably nicked the first one. Second one, I thought Zepeda took, but it was close, in my opinion. It was close. And that's the thing, as much as Zepeda throws, I feel like he gets hit a lot. And the work that can be landed on Zepeda is very clear to see. I feel like Tevin Farmer is having very clear success against him. And that's going to be what happens here with Shakur. I feel like something that Zepeda has on his favor, though, is that Shakur doesn't really have any power. So it's going to be interesting to see how Zepeda keeps on walking forward. But I feel like it could be walking into a trap. Shakur's just going to be boxing and moving. And I feel like Shakur's jab is going to be a big factor in this fight. And I feel like that's what needs to be. I think William Zepeda comes forward well when he throws his shots. And he throws non-stop. But right now, we know for a fact with how good Shakur Stevenson is at being able to read his opponents. And I feel like Zepeda, as much as he does always like to throw, he can become predictable for someone like Shakur Stevenson, in my opinion. And Shakur's going to be able to set traps and make him walk onto shots. And that's the issue for William Zepeda here. Has he got the power to shut Shakur Stevenson's lights out? Yes, he does, of course. But I feel like as the fight goes over 12 rounds, he's going to be there for Shakur Stevenson to read him, able to get success over. And I feel like I know Zepeda can keep up a very good pace in a fight, but he can get caught quite a lot, as I've been saying, and he's there to be countered with the amount he throws. But I reckon Shakur's going to be able to use all of that to his advantage, the amount that Zepeda throws, and he's going to be able to use those counters that he's mastered, if we're being honest with you. And he's going to be using that head movement, he's going to be using his slips, and he's going to be making Zepeda miss a lot and really frustrating, in my opinion. I mean, if Zepeda can really back him up on the ropes, then we've got an interesting one here because, Zepeda is much stronger and much tougher than what Shakur Stevenson is. And Zepeda could well and truly be able to, really just bully Shakur Stevenson in the clinches or bully him up against the ropes and try and get some good shots through. I mean, it's a really intriguing one with these two styles that we've got here. To be honest with you, but look, if this fight was before those two Tevin Farmer fights, then I'd be saying I don't know about this one for Shakur. But after seeing those two Tevin Farmer fights, I'm confident that Shakur will win. I mean, on paper, it could be a good 50-50 fight style-wise. It really could be, and you never know. Zepeda might have that style, but I just mostly think that Shakur's got a style that can pick Zepeda apart, though. I feel like they've both got styles that can beat each other 100%. I mean, how will Shakur be able to deal with a volume puncher and a power puncher and, strong guy like William Zepeda? How will Shakur be able to deal with that? But Zepeda's not seen a boxer like Shakur Stevenson. He's seen Tevin Farmer, but he's levels below what Shakur Stevenson is, if we're being completely honest. But I don't think Shakur Stevenson's ever fought someone who hits as hard as William Zepeda. And if Zepeda can really, land early on Shakur, what's going to happen? There's many questions to be answered here.